Let me turn that off.
One second. The lights on instead of turning my fan off. Okay, hey, I'm back. Oh shit, I just moved that so much, so sorry. So for today's video, I have like another sit down and talk type of video, commentary type video. So this is something that has been going on, honestly, for a very long time, I've noticed. But I realized to this day, it's still a thing for some reason. And I'm always like, every time I see it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe people still think like this. It's kind of weird. Something I've noticed is the scrutiny against child stars when they grow up. Like, literally, they just grow up and people lose their minds over it. Like, and honestly, what made me want to talk about this was it had to do with Olivia Rodrigo and her new Guts tour, but we're going to get into that later. For now, I just wanted to talk about people not letting, like, child stars grow up, literally. Like, they don't let them do anything that people their age do. Like, every little thing they do is, like, so inappropriate and so bad. Like, you can't wear this, you can't talk like this, you can't do that. And it's like, because you are a role model to young people. What? Like, putting that title on a young person can be so damaging to them. Being like, oh, little girls look up to you, you're a role model to them. That puts a lot of pressure on them to now have to always be perfect and can't mess up, or else they're not going to be a good role model. And it can affect the way they see themselves, which is not good. And I don't think that people should be doing that to these young stars. Like, and it's mainly Disney actors because, you know, I don't know what it is with Disney actors specifically, but they wild out. Starting all the way back with, like, I'm going to say, like, the first time I really witnessed it truly in my time, I mean, there were probably girls even before. I'm Gen Z, so the first person that I seen, like, this happen to a lot is, like, maybe, like, people like Amanda Bynes or Britney Spears, like, even Lindsay Lohan. Like, those were probably, like, the first people, I'd say, like, some of the first, like, young stars and artists to, like, blow up and have that title of being a role model to young girls and young people. And on top of, like, their busy ass work schedules and, like, all this stuff they have to do, they are being pushed to their limits. They're being pushed to limits that not even adults are being pushed to. And it's insane. It puts such a high, like, pressure on them to be perfect and to do everything perfectly and to always be available to everyone. Like,
they want to put me up on a pedestal like that. That's really sweet, and it's just that I'm human and I make mistakes just like everybody else, and I can just try and be a good person for me and for them as well.
People love to be like, oh, because they're like a celebrity and they're famous and they have so much money, like they can't have any problems or they can't, like, you know, go through shit. But it's like they do. Like, the way that these girls kind of like rebel, like once they get to a certain age, they start to rebel, and it's like, and people scrutinize them for it, and it's like messed up to me. And it's so weird because when I was younger, people like would see people like Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears kind of like, I wouldn't even say they were going crazy, like even just like them like wearing, like doing simple things is like wearing more revealing clothing, be talking a different way, like maybe being a little bit more mature.
What happened to your clothes? What happened? Have on clothes now?
I think everybody always thought you had a different relationship to young girls.
Everyone now, they look back and they're like, what happened to your sweet image that you used to be? And I'm like, then when I came out, you thought I was too provocative. It's like you could never win.
Have you ever gone further than you wish you had?
Gone further?
Yeah.
No.
Like doing things that people their age do, you know, as you get older, you start to mature and you start to want to do different things, different looks, different, like you're constantly changing as a person from the time you're a kid to like when you're an adult. That's simply what they were doing. They were changing. But now they're changing with people watching, people that they don't even know watching, and judging them and criticizing every little thing that they do. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. I'd say the people who have it easy in that type of world, who have like a big following and a lot of money, I'd say are influencers, because influencers are famous for themselves. Like, they are just doing their own thing and they don't really have like they don't have the same pressure that like people who like are like acting or singing or stuff like that, because they do like some real serious work. And I'm not saying that influencers can't do that, because a lot of them do branch out to like singing acting and all that stuff, and then they are at that level as well. But like a lot of them, like especially the ones who are just like just making their little 15-second videos promoting a brand or whatever, like that's not hard work. I really hate to say it's not hard work, trust me. Not like, it's not very demanding of you. It's not demanding of you at all, really. Versus an actor who could be on a set for 12 to 16 hours. And
actually, the more I thought about this one, honestly, no, influencers don't have like, you know, the same workload that like a real like traditional celebrity who like performs would have. But I did think about it, and they probably do have the same pressures, because people still do pressure them into being role models as well, especially with like TikTokers and stuff, because like most of their fan base is children.
I've heard some of these Disney actors especially talk about their experience on Disney and how hard they worked as children.
While some companies stay within the legal range of working hours for minors, many do not. Zero Productions acknowledge that after their shoot, I will go to another, record an interview during my lunch break, skip dinner, and meet for a late night rehearsal. Meanwhile, agents are encouraging me to look at early emancipation so I can work longer hours.
Like, Allison Stoner is very vocal about this. And even Ashley Tisdale, she talked about how she was doing like multiple things all at once. She was like on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She was on High School Musical, and she was doing Phineas and Ferb all at the same time.
I was doing like a TV show for Disney Channel, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I was doing the High School Musical movies, which had become its own thing. And then I also had an animation series, Phineas and Ferb, and my music career. So I was doing all of that at once.
Spent 14-hour days on set, recorded music in the evening, and spent weekends performing live for fans.
Hannah Montana. Hey, whatever happened to her?
A lot of drug. How much can I actually smoke and still play a teenage superstar on the Disney Channel?
Like, they have no breaks, no rest. Like, they are constantly doing stuff, and it's like really demanding of them.
I realized I kind of forgot to mention like why I even talked about like the workload and stuff. And it was mainly just to like point out like the fact that like, yes, they have a lot of money and like they have fame and stuff and people know who they are, but it also comes at a cost, because now they're overworked, they're stressed out, people know who they are, so they're following them around. Like, they'll be on a set for like hours, they'll want to go home and stuff, and then they got people on the street like trying to take pictures of them and stuff, or take pictures with them. And you know, that's just like, it's a lot. And I can see why they end up turning to, you know, medicine, we'll say that, and like, you know, like go kind of crazy and like start to rebel against them.
There's a lot of upsides to being a celebrity, obviously, and there's a lot of financial stability in that, but there is a lot of disadvantage too, like just being able to be a normal person, like who makes mistakes. Celebrities are put to such a high standard. I feel like people even put celebrities to a higher standard than they put themselves at. Like, it's kind of weird, and they're so like, people care so much about celebrities in general, and influencers too, but they care about like their opinions, and like if they're not completely 100% morally correct, they're a bad person. And that's not always true. Like, there's a lot of things that go into like what you, like who you are as a person. Like, it's who you are around, it's environment that you live in. Like, it's very different. Like, I can admit, like when I was younger, there was a lot of offensive things that we used to say, and the people that were around me used to say. And of course I thought like, oh, well, they're saying that, so maybe that's like normal and that's fine. But it's not fine. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to just learn as you get older. And being in the public eye, that's even harder, because people are always judging you and putting you at such a high standard that they don't even put themselves or other people around them at, because they don't have that same influence. And it sucks, but it's true. It's like it's hard for celebrities to like grow. They have a very like specific, very rare upbringing to them. So it's like, I get it. I get why sometimes they wild out. And like, I feel like those girls were like some of the first to do that. And then I'd say like the second wave was like maybe like Miley Cyrus, even like Justin Bieber around that time. I mean, I feel like this was mainly targeted at young girls specifically, more than men. Like, men kind of like, I don't really remember a lot of male like stars and like artists like getting constantly scrutinized for growing up. One I definitely heard about is Justin Bieber, because of course, like, Justin Bieber was at that age where he was like 16, 17-ish, like 15, 16, 17. And he was like pulling pranks, saying stupid shit, like, you know, literally stuff that I probably did and a lot of other people that I know personally also did. Like, but it was such a big deal because he was a celebrity. Even Vanessa Hudgens, back when her, like, you know, pictures, I feel like you already know what I'm talking about. Based off that word alone, like, you know, when her pictures got leaked. And everybody was like freaking out on her, like as if she leaked her own pictures, like as if someone didn't do that to her. Like, people didn't even see her as the victim in that situation, which was really weird. Like, all they were doing was criticizing her for taking the pictures in the first place.
I just say what everybody in this room is thinking, but nobody has said. Where's Vanessa Hudgens? Girl, you got to keep your clothes on. Phones are for phone calls, girl.
I was 18 years old at that point, and like, it's her business, and who she sent her pictures to was only between her and that person. So really, the person that should have been getting all that scrutiny was whoever she sent the pictures to, that got him, that like sent them out everywhere and leaked them. That's who should have been getting the scrutiny, but instead it was her because she took the pictures. And she was on Disney Channel at that point, because you've got to keep in mind, she was on Disney, she was on High School Musical, and she was like the main star of High School Musical too. So it was really like, that was a difficult time, you know, for her. And the fact that people constantly kept bringing it up and it was like not necessary, and people were literally shaming her for it, and it's like, she's an 18-year-old girl. She's going to do that. She's going to take pictures. She's going to send them to whoever she's talking to at that time. That's a normal thing to do, in case you haven't noticed. Like, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do. I mean, and of course now it's more acceptable, and it's like, because now there's like, can I say OnlyFans? I don't know, but like, there are services, we'll say, where that's literally, people can get paid to do that type of stuff, literally. So it's like, obviously it's more acceptable now, but like in the early 2000s, it was like, oh my God, it was such a scandal. But it's like, she's a victim in that situation, which was so weird, and people were not treating her as such.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
They also get scrutinized for taking like mature roles too. Like, that happened with Vanessa Hudgens, like, which I forgot to mention, but like, even they can't even like branch out, or else it's like, oh my God, like, little Disney star, blah 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 blah. I noticed they're either like, A, oh my God, why are you doing that? Why are you taking such a mature role? Or B, there are creepy men looking forward to them taking roles like that. Ugh.
Again, come for the person instead of like really trying to understand where they're coming from. Like, times until you like really put yourself in their shoes and you really like hear them out, because it's easy to shut down a celebrity like when they're like going through something, because you're like, you're financially stable, so you're fine. And it sounds like fun, and it's obvious, and it probably is really fun. It is, at the end of the day, still very hard and very demanding. You can understand why some of them start to turn to stuff like that and start to wild out a little bit. Like, I feel like Miley Cyrus is like the ultimate like person who did this, because Miley Cyrus just took a full 180 like after Disney. We know about it. We know, like, we don't need a rundown. Like, we were there, okay? I remember in 2013 when it was controversial to twerk. Now people twerk on TikTok all the time without even, no one cares, actually people like it. So it's like weird. It's just so funny. Like, I remember her literally getting like so badly scrutinized for like twerking. And I was like, bro, what? It's just so weird to think about, like, how like celebrities just can't grow out of that phase. I remember, because in the common denominators, everybody being like, you're supposed to be a role model to young people, but it's like, you can't put that kind of pressure on them, especially as they're getting older. They're in their 20s at this point, when they're still like, people are still expecting them to be like kids, like, and still act like kids and still be a role model to kids. But it's like, they're adults now. They're going to act like adults. They're going to do adult things. They're going to cuss. They're going to drink. They're going to smoke. Like, I remember, like, it's such a big thing every time like someone finds out that like a new like Disney actor or whoever, like some young artist or young star now like smokes or like drinks or something. But it's like, that's a normal thing to do at their age. Like, it's like, y'all need to stop losing your minds. But the most recent thing was with Olivia Rodrigo, who, you know, she got her start on Disney. She started on Bizarre Vark, which is a Disney Channel show, and then she moved to Disney Plus, did High School Musical the series. The musical the series, I don't really know what it's called. It's too long. But anyway, I've talked about it before on my channel. I love Olivia Rodrigo down. And I'm so mad I couldn't get tickets to Guts. They sold out so fast and they were so expensive, and it's the whole thing, but I'm so salty. She just had her show here like a few nights ago, and I'm sick. I missed it. I'm so mad, but it's okay. And Sophia Wiley was there. Like, it's brutal out here. So angry, but it's okay. It's fine. Something I've noticed is there's a lot of controversy going on about her concerts, because everyone's like, apparently like adults are bringing their children to her concerts, and like they were shocked when she was like, you know, doing more mature dancing, wearing more like, you know, more revealing clothing, you know, just being her 21-year-old self. By the way, keep in mind, Olivia Rodrigo is 21 years old now. When she first started, she was a kid, obviously. Like, when she started on Disney, she was a kid. When she released, like, Sour, she was about, like, 17, I think. She was very young still. Now she's 21 years old. You gotta keep that in mind. She is, and her songs are very, like, when you really listen to her songs, like, yes, obviously they can, like, kids love them, obviously, because they're good, they're catchy, they're fun. She has really good songs, but, like, her songs are, like, they have mature lyrics and they have mature themes when you really think about it. Like, when you really listen to what she says, she's very smart and intellectual, and she's very, like, in tune with herself and with people around her. Like, she's very smart, and her songs are very mature. And she's getting older, and her songs are maturing, and she's maturing, and people are refusing to let her grow. They're like, people have been going to the Guts tour and being like, oh my god, she's like, I can't believe that she's doing this in front of her young audience. It's not okay. She is 21 years old. She is at legal drinking age. She's not even like 20. She's not even like 18 or 19. She's 21 years old. At this point, she is allowed to do whatever she wants. And this is what I mean. You need to stop putting, like, young stars at such a high standard. You need to do your research as a parent. Realize whose concert you're bringing your kids to. You need to do your research. You need to see what's going on. You need to be aware of what your kid listens to and who your kids look up to. And I honestly don't think Olivia Rodrigo still to this, I don't think she's a bad person to look up to. She's a really like well-rounded, very smart, very sweet, very like nice person. It's just very like unfair to put her at such a unnecessarily high expectation that you don't put other people at. And it's just so, and also it's like she's older now. She's gonna do things like that. She's going to, you know, be more revealing. She's grown. She's grown, okay? I really hate to say it. Like, these kids, they grow and they mature, and they should be allowed to do that in peace without people being like, oh my god, you have young kids looking up to you. Like, you can't put them at that kind of, you can't put that expectation on them. They are also a kid who's growing up. Yes, they have a lot of eyes on them, but they're still, at the end of the day, they're still a person. And I think that's honestly people's biggest problem, is putting celebrities at such this high ranking. Like, these people are gods to you, and like, you take what they say as gospel, and you care too much about them. You care too much about their opinions, what they do, who they date. And it's a problem. It's a true problem, y'all. Like, I'm serious. Like, y'all need to, like, at the end of the day, these people are still people, and you need to realize that badly, because y'all need to stop expecting them to be kid-friendly forever. Like, they're only a kid once, and then they're gonna be older. Like, you can't expect a kid to be perfect their whole life. Like, you can't expect that from anyone, let alone like a celebrity. There's not a lot of people that they can relate to. There's not a lot of people who have walked in their shoes. I'll even do it with like influencers now. Like, for example, Charli D'Amelio, and like, you know, like literally everyone on Musical.ly, like even I think Lisa and Lena even talked about this, like, you know, the two little German twins, So cute. I love them. And they've talked about like, you know, having a younger fan base and like feeling that pressure to like always be perfect for them a certain way to, you know, make sure that you come across like a little angel basically to the public. They can go buy beer. They can, and that's another thing that she talked about and people got mad about it, was the fact that she like said, I think she said something like how she could go into a gas station and buy a pack of cigarettes and buy beer, which she didn't even smoke or drink. She didn't like even, she said she didn't even touch it, but she just did it because she could. And it's like, you know, like it's just the fun part of growing up. And
I went to the gas station the other day and I bought a pack of cigarettes and a case of beer. I promise I didn't consume it, but I just bought it just because I could.
For people to be like, oh my God, like, you can't promote that to your young audience. It's like, dude, she's 21 years old. I need to let these celebrities, these young actors and young artists and singers and whoever else, influencers, whatever, y'all need to let them grow up and mature and let them do their own thing. Like, as long as they're not harming themselves too bad or harming other people, they should be allowed to do what they want. And y'all need to leave them alone. Y'all need to stop coming for them for their outfits, their style, the way they talk, what they do, the way they dance. Like, y'all need to let it go, okay? They're not kids. So you need to find, like, you need to put on fucking Coco Melon or something. I don't know. But Olivia Rodrigo to be freaking a child for her whole life. She's growing up and she's maturing and not have people coming down her neck for it. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think about this. This is something that I've definitely noticed and it's been going on for a long time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching.